In Ukraine, Russia is continuing to target civilian areas. The latest attack killed at least 40 people, including 3 children, after Russian missiles struck an apartment building in the city of Dnipro on Sunday. Rescue efforts are now giving way to a recovery mission, and this latest strike continues to highlight how Russia is conducting this phase of the war. They're hitting civilian and energy infrastructure, claiming that they're targeting disguised military installations or that the destruction is the result of Ukrainian countermeasures, sometimes in the very same breath. What is clear is that the targets Russia keeps hitting are hundreds of miles away from the front lines, and the strikes are aimed at Ukrainian civilians. One thing helping to prevent Russian victory right now is the increased material support that Ukraine is now getting from the West. It's just about all Ukrainian President Volodymyr asks for on a regular basis. He addressed Congress in Washington saying, "We don't need your soldiers. We need the weapons." And over the months, Western democracies have sent money and advanced missile systems and infantry fighting vehicles. Now the United Kingdom is even sending battle tanks, the kind of things that Zelensky called, quote, exactly what Ukraine needs to restore its territorial integrity, end quote. But the West is only sending the help incrementally. Even as Russia prepares to pivot, Russia is now undergoing joint drills with Belarus, a country Russia will pull into this war sooner or later. And the head of the Ukrainian intelligence is warning that Russia is preparing to mobilize another 500,000 conscripts. And they will go to war ill-equipped, with bad weaponry and bad training and no real motivation to fight. But Vladimir Putin can call up many more waves of conscripts like this out of a Russian population of more than 140 million people. Russia can win a war of attrition. It seems clear that Putin knows that fact. He can just wear Ukraine down, which is why Western governments need to figure out what the maximal amount of support they plan to eventually give Ukraine might be and give it all to them right now, when it can matter. The window of opportunity for Ukraine to win this war and end the bloodshed is closing, and it will close sooner than most people would like to admit. Ukraine is a much smaller country being systematically dismembered by Russia. Ukrainian citizens are already being forced to ration their electricity usage thanks to Russian missile strikes on their electricity plants. And as valiantly as their soldiers are fighting, they cannot win this war with 6 weeks of support at a time. They need all the aid the West is prepared to give, and they need it now. I was in Ukraine last spring talking to Ukrainian civilians as their country was plunged into war. I will be back there again as we approach 1 year since the Russian invasion began. And if Western governments do the right thing, Ukraine could have a chance to ring in the next new year as a free country at peace and in charge of its own destiny.